Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a bit of a depotting and decluttering of this palette here, which used to be and kind of still is my Panda palette for the year. If you haven't seen my last Panda palette update, I would recommend you checking that out first, because I did make a quite big decision in the video and I covered it all in there. So if you don't want any spoilers, watch that first and then come back. But if you have watched that, you know that I do want to kind of declutter a bit of this palette, and it's no longer going to be my main Panda palette. So today I'm just going to go through this palette and declutter a couple shades. I want to also depot a couple shades that I don't want to necessarily finish, but I do want to still keep in my collection. And then the rest will stay in here for me to continue using. So that's going to be my plan today. But before I jump into the palette itself, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So here we have the palette, and before I do anything else, I'm actually going to go ahead and franken one more shadow. Before I had used this plot twist shade and the 5 AM shade to create a kind of cool tone brown, and that was the perfect brow shade for me. So I want to go ahead and do that with the last of plot twist, and then yeah, with the rest of the palette I do think I'm going to go ahead and declutter slash keep. So we'll see how I go, but I'm going to start by franking that. And I have franked this before, so I'm just going to do a quick overview. I'm not going to talk through it. I'm just going to go ahead and mix it all up. So there we have that shadow. It is done. It's like a nice taupey shadow that will work well for my brows, and that's all the kind of mess that we made that wouldn't press in, but that's fine. So that is the last bit of plot twist in here, plus a little bit of 5 AM. So that is the frankening done. I don't think I'm going to franken anything else from here, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just go ahead and decide what I want to declutter. So first of all, I'm going to start with a shadow that I for sure know I don't want to keep, and that is Amsterdam. So honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up and break it up in the pan, because this shadow doesn't perform very well, to be honest, and it's been a pain to use, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys. So I'm just going to mix this up and we're going to declutter it. But yeah, I'm just going to do some satisfying kind of mixing up in here, and we'll move on to the next shade. So that is Amsterdam. Next up, another shadow that I know for sure that I will declutter is Ew. I mentioned before, it's a very unique green in my collection, but even though it's unique, I don't reach for it, so I don't want to keep this one either. So this one as well is going to be decluttered. Moving on to the next one. Let's stick with mattes. I'm not sure about this one yet. I might depot this one. This one I'm going to keep in the palette. So when it comes to these two, I think these are also shadows that I won't keep, because they're very common in my collection. I have these all over like palettes and singles, so I won't keep those two. So I'll declutter those two as well. So I think those are all the mattes I'm going to tackle in this palette. For the shimmers, I don't know if this is going to be as satisfying, because I think these are more creamy kind of shimmers, but let's go through the ones that I know that I want to declutter. First one is Underground. I know this one I don't want to keep because it's not my favorite. I really don't like this shimmer, to be honest. It's too deep, it's not my favorite kind of color, so this one is also going to be decluttered. I'm also going to declutter Ivy, although I got a good pan on this one. I don't like this that much and the formula isn't the best, so I'm going to declutter this one too. I would rather use a lot of other inner corner shadows. Okay, so for the rest, I do like All In and I do like Pride. Those are going to stay. I think with Aura and Roxy Catan, those aren't my favorites and I have better indie shadows. So I think I'm going to declutter both of these actually. Not because they aren't pretty, but because I have better shades or better formulas in those shadows, if that makes sense. Those two are going to be decluttered as well. Okay, so with the rest, like I said, I'm going to keep these two. We have these two left. I think I'm going to keep my tutorials because I think I might be able to finish this one. If not, it's not the end of the world, but I think I'm going to keep this one. I like it as a nail polish, so this one I can stay in the palette. Mr. Tutorials, I haven't been swatching, but this one is a beautiful shadow. However, I don't reach for it and I don't have barely any progress. I don't think I'm going to reach for it that much. I do not want to put it into my singles collection, so I'm going to declutter this one too. And with that, you guys, I think I have finished kind of depotting this, or not depotting, I'm sorry, but like decluttered it. The remaining shadows I will either keep in the palette or put into my singles collection. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip this all out, maybe mix it up a bit and see how it turns out. So there is the mixture mixed up, kind of. I mean, I'm not going to fully mix it up because I'm not going to keep it, but that is the kind of shadow it created, like a purpley taupey kind of shadow. I mean, it does depend a little bit where you put your hand, but quite an interesting shadow, quite deep, but that is how it turned out. And look at all of the Access eyeshadow, like it's so heavy. I can't believe, like, I was expecting to finish this palette this year, but yeah, that is a lot of shadow. And this is going to go in the bin now, but it's very satisfying to look at. So that is all of the decluttered eyeshadow. So I have cleaned my palette up a little bit. It's not perfect, but it will do for now. And I have also, as you can see, put out some empty pans here, because those three shadows are the ones that I have decided to depot into my singles collection. So we have Redemption here, which is like a, I don't know, like a popsicle orange. It's a very unique orange shadow and I think it's really, really pretty. So I'm going to depot that one. Mika here is a red shadow, and this one is very, very bright. It's probably the most true red I have in my collection, and because of that I want to depot that one too. Then lastly, this is the one that I was most unsure about, but it's such a beautiful shadow. Sorry, I dropped the pen. It's such a beautiful shadow. It is like a peachy, kind of white based peach shadow. I might have something similar, but for now I'm going to put it. If I have something similar I might declutter it when I compare it. But yeah, those are the three that I'm going to tackle. And then the remaining shadows, so Blend and Snap, Vla, Basic Truth, All In, Pride and Mama Tutorials, I'm going to keep in this palette and keep using them whenever I feel like it. And maybe having less in this palette means that I will actually be able to finish up some of those shadows. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with Redemption here, and I'm going to start depotting that. So I'm going to take the whole shadow out, but I'm not sure if it will all fit in the pan, but I'm going to take it out anyway, just so I can have it all out of the palette. So there we have that orange, and hopefully you can see there on the contrast of the paper just how bright this is, and that's exactly why I want to depot it. again, I am pressing the same way I'm dry pressing all of these. So I'm just going to funnel this into a pan and press it. So I'm done with pressing, and this is how it turned out. It's really firm and secure in there, so I'm really happy with that. And this is how much leftover I had. Not too much, to be honest, so I'm happy with that. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other two. I'm not going to film it because it's the same thing. I've been doing it a lot recently. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do Mila and Sommer. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and show you this palette once it is almost empty. Here we have the palette with everything depotted and decluttered. So the shadows that I created was obviously, or depotted rather, there was Redemption, Mikai, and Sommer. So those three right here I decided to keep into my singles collection, and I think these are very unique colors. I will obviously swatch them out and see if I have any dupes, then I obviously will just declutter them. But I'm happy to have these on the side. And these right here are the 6 shadows that are staying into the palette. My goals with these basically will be to try to use them as much as I can. I think I will definitely be able to finish Basic Trust, I think, maybe even Vla. Blend and Snap, I'll mention in my update that I might be able to finish, but that's probably honestly the one that I'm most likely I'll be asked to finish, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how I feel about that one, but I kept it in just in case. Then we have All In and Pride. Those are my 2 favorite shimmers from the palette originally, so I wanted to keep them in and use them as much as possible. They are stunning shadows, but I mean, you can see them there. They are honestly still stunning. Like, they're so pretty. But I do have so many in the eyeshadows that I don't want to necessarily put them into my singles, because I feel like I should have dupes or similar if not more impactful shadows. So I want to keep them in here and keep tracking them in here and use them as much as possible. Maybe I will be able to finish them up, we'll see, but I'm not going to pressure myself. Then with Mama Tutorials, it is the shadow in here that I have one of the most progress on, so I wanted to keep that one, and I do like that one as a nail polish, so I kept that one in too to use mainly that way. So that is basically the new palette. It looks very different. Yeah, I want to keep this in and try to finish them, but yeah, the rest I was just so overwhelmed, and I feel way more motivated now when I only have these in here. So I hope this was okay with you guys. It's very, very different, but that is basically it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please kind of give a thumbs up. Let me know if you would have kept any other shadows or what you would have done with the palette, and otherwise I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.